students. I hope that you are doing good at your homes, and I hope that you are revising lectures at your home. In the previous lecture, I had given you a task about to do research on the person, on this marine biologist called Jacques Cousteau, and I told you that you should use internet to the best of your knowledge, or to use internet for good purposes. So I gave you that if you want to be a good scientist in the future, you have to do a lot of research. So it's good. Research is very important. So you should read about it. You should get knowledge from books or from internet. So I told you to do so with the help of internet, and I hope that you've done it. And if you've done it, please write it down. And when you come to school, and then bring it with you, and then we're going to have a discussion over it, and you can share your work with me. And we have discussed about marine biologists, that they study life underwater, and we discussed about Aristotle in the previous lecture. So today we are going to talk about astronomers. So who are astronomers? So astronomers basically are people who study about the sky and things in it, the stars, the universe, how does it function, and different all these. This astronomy is a huge field, because this universe is big and it has billions of stars. So astronomy is about studying about the sky and the things in it, the stars, the planets, the universe in it. So this is a huge field. So it's a very complex field, and it's a very challenging field. So astronomers try to understand how our universe works. So basically, what's the job of an astronomer? Astronomer basically tries and finds out how this universe works, because there's suns come out in the day and the moon comes out at the night, and where does this moon come from? How does this how many planets are there? Is there life on any other planet in the earth? This is a huge field, and the research and study is still going on in the field of astronomy. And what are these stars for? How big these stars are? What are these stars made up of? What are these planets made up of? How many universes are there? How many solar systems are there? So all these things they study about, and they study and try to find out how this universe works. How is this earth rotating, whether the earth is rotating or not. How is earth orbiting around itself. How does it move, and how many times does it move. And so all these things, this is the job of an astronomer, to study about the universe. They study planets, galaxies, stars, moons, and solar systems. One of the oldest fields of science is astronomy. So basically, because whenever the first person, he or she, landed on Earth, whenever first person was Hazrat Adam al-Islam, but when people they started getting aware of the world and how it is work. You look up at the sky and you see, and you wonder, how, where are these stars, and how exactly are they far away from. So this is because the universe and the earth has been there for billions of millions of years now. So this is because so that's why astronomy is one of the oldest field of science. So what do you need to become an astronomer? To become an astronomer, you need to have studied at a high level, earning a PhD in physics, for example. So because physics is mathematics, and it requires a lot of calculation, a lot of different physical. It deals with a lot of physical aspects, the energy and matter and all these things. So this requires, if you want to be an astronomer, you can get a PhD degree in mathematics or physics to continue with it. So most astronomers work at research institutions or universities. So one of the biggest research institutes about about the half the universe is NASA. It works. And millions, they have sent so many spaceships in the space to study about the environment. They have sent people on the moon. They have rockets. They've sent, now NASA. Other than NASA, there are different countries that are, working really hard to study about the about science and about the life above this earth. So they have done a lot of research. So NASA is one of the researching institutes, with very famous researching institutes, and they so you need to have a lot of good knowledge and a lot of, you need to be really skilled at maths and physics, and you need to be really sharp and intelligent minded to be a part of this wonderful research institute. So, what is one important skill that an astronomer needs? Astronomer needs is one of the most important skill that an astronomer needs is maths, because maths, it requires a lot of calculation, a lot of, there are a lot of units, there are a lot of dimensions, there are a lot of mathematics involved. So you need to have that important skill. You need to have good mathematics skills so to be an astronomer. So one important skill that astronomer needs is maths, and the other is physics. So, a large number of known professional astronomers help and share their work with professional astronomers. So, because this is a very vast and very challenging and very difficult field, so there's a lot of work going on. So, there are people who have been working for many years, and still, because this we don't know much about the universe as of now. We know little about it, and every day new research is conducted, and so the astronomers which were already working for it now they are, they share their work with professional astronomers, so they can get help, and they can help others to find more about the universe and about this astronomy. So, astronomers, they spend a lot of their time studying images and data, because they captured images of the universe, and then they, with telescopes, and with these big cameras, with these telescopes, they try to study these images and the data that they have collected. How much, how this Earth is moving, at what speed it is moving, at what, how many time does it move in 24 hours, or this, different planet, does the sun move or not. So they capture images and then they study about it. So only a small amount of their time is spent on telescopes. Telescopes basically, is this device which helps them to see the stars and which are very far away from us, to see, to help them see them closely, the planets, the moons, and other different planets that are in the solar system, the moons. So with the help of telescope, the scientists, astronomers, they can see these stars and planets and galaxies closely. So they don't really spend a lot of time. They capture images, and then they spend most of the time in studying those images and the data that they've collected. Some astronomers only work in the findings of other people. So there are also astronomers who don't, because not everybody can go to space. So what they do is they get data from other astronomers, and they start studying about it, and then they tell, this thing can work this way, or this can work this way. So the study that focuses on the physical nature of the universe is called astrophysics. What is astrophysics? The study that focuses on the physical nature of the universe, like the physical nature, is called astrophysics. The physical features mean the things that we can touch and feel. So the planets and everything that we can, the physical nature of the universe is called astrophysics. So the study that focuses on the physical nature of the universe is called astrophysics. Now, who was Galileo? Galilei was an Italian scientist that lived during the Renaissance period. He helped introduce a new way of thinking about the solar system and astronomy. So this scientist, Galileo, what did he do? That for many years, the scientists believed that the sun and the planets, they revolve around the Earth. So this was this misconception that, the sun and the planets, they used to revolve around the Earth. But Galileo, he was the first scientist to prove that this wasn't actually correct, and that in fact the Earth and the planets revolve around the sun. So people used to believe that, our Earth, it stays at one point, it doesn't move, it is stagnant, and the planets and the sun and the moon, they revolve around our Earth. But he was the first scientist to uh, to um, uh, you know to disprove this misconception that planets, they don't revolve, the earth doesn't the earth isn't stagnant, earth is revolving, and it's the sun actually that is stagnant, and the earth and the other planets, they revolve around the sun. Okay, so he was pretty clever, and he also invented an improved telescope so that he could look for far into space. So he was the first person to introduce a better improved telescope, and he was the first one to see Jupiter's moons, because every planet has different set of moons. Earth has one moon, and other planets in the universe, they have different moons. So there is this planet called Jupiter, and he said that he was the first person to say that Jupiter's moon, to see them with the help of the telescope he invented. He said that there are many moons to Jupiter. So he saw them for the first time. He was the first person to see Jupiter's moons, and but and also um, uh, he also invented he invented telescope. So you should remember that he invented telescope, and he also invented the compass and thermometer which is used to measure temperature. So he invented the compass and the thermometer. So you should remember all this. So okay, and he was the first person to see the four moons of Jupiter. Jupiter has four moons, so he said he invented a telescope which was much better quality, which through which, with the help of which, with the help of which he saw four objects that surrounded Jupiter, but he knew that they weren't stars; they were actually Jupiter's four moon. So he was the first one who saw Jupiter's moon. Okay. Now, um, this is what you should be um, um, knowing about Galileo, and beside that, you can search more about him and let me know in the you know in the next lecture, or you can write it down and on a piece of paper and discuss it, and with the uh, with different parents. So basically, Galileo was an Italian scientist, and so this is about astronomy. He was a great astronomer, Galileo, one of the most well-reputed astronomers, one well-known astronomers in the universe. So in the next lecture, we are going to discuss more about the different fields of science and different scientists and what do they work and how do they work. So till then, please research more about it, learn more about it, learn about astronomy, astronomers and or marine biologists and other scientists as well, and write down about Galileo and other scientists and other famous astronomers if you can research about and write them down. So till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.